So apologies from Councillor Donovan for lateness. She went into town, so she.
They did say it was
These.
Someone said it, and I thought, no, it's not.
We're running a city and we can't come on. Kelly has inadvertently stitched some stuff.
So that's cool. So look, I know people have got
Easy mistake.
We've all done it.
a busy time today, and people do have some commitments. And we've got Mark on Zoom as well, and Andre. And is that Mark? Andre. Yeah. Anyone else on Zoom?
I'm there.
Yeah, great. So it's from the Mayor, Councillor Goff, Councillor Henstock, Councillor McDonald, and Councillor Templeton. So
That's right, we're just.
yeah, this was an early departure, but because we're re-adjourned, do we need to move the apologies again, or do you just note them? Okay. So we've got a number of amendments that we need to go through. So I understand from some councillors there may be some changes to what they've proposed. So we'll just go through in order and just clarify who still has amendments that they wish to follow. So AC1, funding committee to grant Ako Apitahi Learning City Christchurch. That was from Harrison Hunt and Mark Peters. I understand, Tyler, that you wish to withdraw that amendment.
I'm just pulling that up now. Can we move on to the next one? We'll come back to that.
Cool. So I actually had an amendment for Ako to reduce that to 10,000. Unfortunately, so I don't have a seconder for that. But you know, just to give my.
Oh, actually, sorry, apologies. Keep that as this. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You're good with that, Mark? Yep.
Keep the amendment as it is.
So which one?
So we're just moving £5,000.
Up or down, because there's a plus and a minus.
Yeah, there's both. So one's there's swapping.
Down, one goes up.
It's only because of the tier level.
So what are you doing? This is.
5 to 1, 5 from the other.
Which
I don't like to use the word cut.
So my understanding is the staff recommendation was for Learning City Christchurch. Staff recommendation was 20,000, that will reduce to 15. And the Kind Foundation
Oh, I see.
was 15, and that'll increase to 20. And that's what the amendment was.
I see, yeah.
Whereas mine was simply to reduce the ARCO by 10 grand and put that in the pot for other amendments that other people pay. So that's the difference within the state.
So just a process wise, how do we do that if we agree to?
That's
Mine's
that's the amendment
so-
that's being proposed. It's been is it?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
You vote
Am I
either
understanding?
vote or you
And
don't.
Yanni's is foreshadowed.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay,
foreshadow,
thank
yeah.
you, thank you.
So
It's all coming back
It's really
to
up-
now.
yeah, right. But shall we move on to the next one?
Yep.
So this was a reduction to keep Christchurch beautiful, but I understand that one's been withdrawn.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. The wellbeing network, this was an increase. I'm still happy to put that one to the incoming. Tyler, are you still?
Yep.
Okay. We've got,
Why don't you just ask for ones that have changed?
Yeah, okay.
Any other?
anyone have anyone they wish to change?
We do have questions on the impact of the GRF after this.
Yeah, so should we ask, so if all the,
I've just got a concern about the Christchurch Symphony Trust. That's because it's quite a big cut.
sorry, we've already done that one.
That's
We've done those?
that's
Yeah.
resolved.
Oh, great, okay.
Yeah, just.
I see it's still coming back to me, but not quite all.
Sorry, we're just doing the community ones. They're the ones that we didn't get.
Ah, that's right, yes, yes. Cool.
And
Cool.
yeah. Sweet. So the staff just want to give an overview around all the amendments as proposed. We've had one that's been withdrawn to cut by 2,500. We've got
Reduce.
yeah.
Well, it's election year, so there's no such word as cut.
AC3, Yeah, matrix 53. Staff recommendation, so you, just for clarity, you're withdrawing the amendment. Is that correct? So the staff recommendation for Christchurch to be incorporated will be 15 and
So we don't actually have to vote on that because it's withdrawn. Right.
no,
So
But it would be good if staff can just give the update around the funding. So with all the amendments that we've got, the question was asked, what's the impact on the discretionary?
So last year in the discretionary response fund, council had about 480,000 across the calendar year, and we spent the entirety of that before the year finished. So this year, due to the pressure on the funds, we were recommending to retain 300,000, so a reduced amount. If all of the proposed amendments go through, that's a little over 100,000 above what has been recommended, so that would be taken off the DRF. We'd have about 200,000 in the DRF for the 25-26 calendar year.
Realistically, the recommendations being, or the changes being put forward by us, if they weren't being put forward by us, these groups would be going to the DRF anyway.
So technically, if they get rejected here and they can't come to the DRF, that's the policy.
Yep.
However. But yeah, I mean, we
Reality and policies.
as advisors and everything, we would cut the cost to what we've got. It might mean that the DRF could close before the end of the financial year, but this year it did as well. And when it's empty, it's empty.
I guess just as kind of a general thing to us, those that are left here, maybe the look at the Mayor's Welfare Fund, and like could we open that policy up slightly? But that's something that for another day. So this, oh no, absolutely not. I've just
In terms of the DRF, for everyone's knowledge, what are the kinds of applications that come forward for the DRF on an annual basis? What does it look like?
Yeah, so ideally a DRF application is for an organisation that has suddenly had an extra draw on requests. So they had come to us, they had planned to have 50 people coming. They had funding for 50 people, suddenly they had 100 people turn up. So it's an unforeseen increase in service delivery. We are tightening the process. It's been quite loose, and that's why the expenditures, I mean, it's coming to you guys, and some of them, some for staff. It really is supposed to be unexpected. We have.
Can you give an example?
Okay. So a multicultural group that something happens within the community and there's an event that has to be called together. That's unexpected. An annual celebration of Korean Day or something, that's not unexpected. It happens every year. So those are the two differences. And we have experienced through DRF lots of the second one, not just from multicultural organisations, but stuff that has been foreseen. They have come to the DRF when they should have been sitting in the SCF pod. And so this really, lowering your DRF just means you're providing more in SCF. So it swings and roundabouts really. We just don't have that fund at the end of to have for the whole year. The size is smaller.
And you don't have the agility that you'd usually have to be able to react to something.
The major changes is you're limiting the ability throughout the year to respond to things that might come up as a priority throughout the year.
Can you remind me who we funded out of the DRF last financial year?
There's a list attached to.
Pyramid was one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pyramid was one.
The Rana Park one?
No.
I don't remember.
You funded
Right. Yeah.
There's attachment D, Project Littleton, Christchurch Resettlement Services, Taiohi, Aotafa, there's quite a few. Basin Community Development Trust, Canoe Polo.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't see all of it, if they're under 15,000, then it sits with a staff delegation.
Yep.
You see everything over 15. Yeah, and there's a lot more up to under 15 in the result.
Okay, it makes me feel a lot better knowing that there's a bit of more of a difference to the DRF. Trying to think about that, okay.
Have you taken into account the arts funding savings and put that in the DRA?
That's in there.
Cool. So that still leaves us about 100K now.
Yeah.
200.
Is that ring fenced for arts? So if we put, okay.
The DRF is open for everybody, but the two projects we have unofficially ring fenced for those two projects. Can't officially do anything, but unofficially, we know that they're coming.
I think the right way to put it is, there's work going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
but only other than that.
What Andrew said.
Okay,
One.
Right.
makes me feel better, thanks.
So can we,
So basically, based on what we've heard, does anyone wish to change any of the amendments that they're proposing?
Anyone?
can we just?
You're able to enter the debate now, I suppose.
But if we're all happy to support them, we can move it on to.
Well, can I just get a sense from the table? Are people happy to support the amendments, recognising the impact on the DRF?
Yes.
And then if that's the case, the only one that we will need to resolve is AC1 and AC2. So,
Well, here's an AC.
Yeah, some debate would be.
A lot of these are.
Has AC2 been withdrawn?
No, it's a foreshadowed.
it's foreshadowed to try and save some
AC1.
money to put towards some of the other amendments that
Okay.
that I put forward, but it's really over to Tyler and Mark if you want to reduce ARCO by 10 grand, 5 grand. That's really the question.
Yeah, nah, I'm cool with
That's
it.
the one that you need to put separately when you're ready.
Yep. I am a little hesitant about the size of the rest of them. You know, I was only playing with 5K here and there, on chop and change, but we've got like 15s, 20s, 10s. Just makes me feel a little bit uneasy.
We're entering debate, so.
Yeah.
If people want to enter debate.
Last meeting.
Standard standing orders.
Let's just roll it.
Still, yeah, so it's Christchurch.
It's quoted Johansson, so it's the Eddington,
Might be a question.
actually it was all for potentially removers of it, but we might go.
I'll sit and wait.
It's a C5, so checkmate basically,
Yes.
so just wanting a bit of information about that one. It's just quite a big increase, I just wonder what the rationale was for that particular amount.
I can give you the rationale of the decision, and again, not to be boring, but it's just a budgetary thing. So it was just with the fund, same for us. So in increase, I mean, we think they're very good efficient. We'll fund them. There's no objection problem here.
So really you've got to be asking the mover and seconder.
Oh, that was, but
That's you, Mel.
No,
Yeah, technically.
well, because they had a decrease from last time, I can't remember. The matrix, but they've had a decrease in funding and they do work. So I wanted them not to get so much of a decrease.
And also like when I went to the Linwood Library to see they're no longer doing the skinny jump modems, so we're losing access to digital equity.
what percentage decrease did they get?
This question.
What was the percentage of the decrease?
Percentage, I don't know.
And like what
Are you
were
able to answer that question? So come up to the table if you ask. So the question is, there's a suggestion that their funding has decreased.
Yeah, can you find what they had last year, what you'd said this year and, well, no.
So we had 40 last year.
They got 40 last year, and what did you recommend this time?
So it's 30, so it's a 10 increase.
But in this time you recommended 15. So that's why I've said 15 to get up to 30, which is still less than last time.
And I'm very supportive of Mel's. I think, yeah. So are there any other questions? So we've got the two amendments, AC1 and AC2. I'll open that up for debate.
Was it one debate?
Yeah, well, I think on that particular one, we just need to get, if people want to talk to it or not, and then we'll have one debate with all the amendments once we finalise the list. We just need to get clarity on AC1 and AC2. So
Can we just get the mover and seconders to agree?
So my ones are on ARCO to reduce it by 10. And Peters, Councillor Mark Peters and Councillor Harrison Hunt's one is to reduce it by 5. So
if Tyler's and Harrison and
Well, the three of you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
decide whether.
no, if the
Do you want
first
to
one
do seven
passes,
and
the second one doesn't get put.
okay.
Yeah, these ones for shadow.
Amendment.
Well,
Okay.
Just want to put it.
All right, so I just put it.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to it?
Yeah,
I just feel that we've done all the work for the last
Okay.
meeting, but
let's just put it. on some of
Okay,
this.
I'll put that the funding committee grant ACO Atetahi within 15 and Kind Foundation 20 from the Citywide Strengthening Communities Fund. All in favour, please say aye.
I,
Okay.
Where's
I
your-
already knew that was gonna go that way, yeah.
So it's cool. So then therefore the foreshadowed one is lost. Will not touch. Right. Now, all the rest of the amendment. Final chance for a question. These are only for the community ones. So just to be really clear. Okay, so just, I guess I'll just open the debate then. So, you know, it's without doubt, we are facing significant challenges as a city around a number of work that is happening by community organisations and the loss of funding from central government and from other philanthropic organisations. We're incredibly fortunate as a city to have so many groups that do so much wonderful work. They actually save the city zillions of dollars a year by the good work that they do. And I know our staff, when we've done presentations, have shown the contribution, a lot of the voluntary contribution to the economic contribution. The voluntary contribution far exceeds the small investments that we make in some of these groups for the outputs that they achieve. But it's not just about the dollars and cents, it is actually about the well-being of our community. And this week and last week we've seen firsthand some of the examples of people who are really struggling, who need support. So I'm really proud of this council for funding the community groups that we do. I'm really proud of the work that staff do, working with these organisations to provide as much support as we possibly can as a city. While some people might say that it's not our role and it's not our business, we live in these communities and we have a responsibility to look after people, in my view, and our environment as well. So thank you to all the work that everyone does. This is never easy. I'm sure staff wrestle as much as we do with who is more deserving than others. We've tried a new approach around some ring fencing, and I think that's been quite useful, but it's still, we ultimately have to make decisions around what we're seeing in terms of need and demand with the resources that we have. And so we've had a wee bit of a change through that process. But fundamentally, I do think it has been good to have the ring fencing. So that being said, yeah, I'll move all of the amendments as a block and just acknowledge, as I said, the really incredible work that so many people have done for us to get to this point and make these decisions today. So thank you to staff and the admin team, and also thank you for, you know, going between different buildings that we've been doing as well. There's a lot of paperwork and stuff and a lot of admin that goes into these meetings. Okay, cool. So that's my view. So I'm very supportive of the amendments, and I'll move that they be put, and I'll now open up the debate.
There's a picture.
Yeah, oh, seconder, Celeste, yeah, as deputy chair, thanks.
I think you said it,
Cool.
haven't you?
So anyway, open up to anyone who wishes to, also speak. Yeah, cool.
No, again, thank you to staff. It's a huge amount of work, and you guys are at the coalface, so you've got to talk to these groups when they kind of don't get what they want or need. And so I do feel your pain, but from a distance, just saying. I think one of the things that's going to be interesting, because this is only going to get worse with regards to the amount of money required and the amount of money available, because other groups have changed their funding models. I guess one of the things in the back of my mind is gaming machines. There are so many groups that actually get money from the gaming machines, whether you like them or not. If we cut them out, where's that money coming from? Because we don't have it. I think when we talk about the government's suggesting rates caps, and we're looking at what core businesses is, say 93 to 95% of what we do is core business. But I think what it will show is that 5% or so, how fragile that is for our communities and how vulnerable some of our communities are. And I think that will highlight it. Whether that's going to be a positive thing in the long run, I hope it will be, because that, as you said, that those groups in our community need this support. That's just a fact. And we're losing money in a sense. We don't have the money we have or had. There's a bigger and growing need. Other groups are changing their funding models. Deprivation is where it is. It's irrelevant to the groups, and where you want to make it race-based or politically based or whatever it is, deprivation and need is what it is. And I just want to commend our staff again for taking the hit on our behalf. So thank you very much. Cheers.
I also want to thank staff. You guys are my favourite. You already know that. Don't tell the planning team. I actually did this work in a previous role for Selwyn Council, and I can actually say that this is not the worst council to actually work with in terms of funding. They used to play with $20,000, $30,000 here and there, but also they used to argue about $500. And when you see this stuff, and it takes a long time, it takes a long time because we care. It's easy enough to push through and leave a report on red when we vote over millions and millions of dollars on a report. But this took so much time because we really care about the grassroots stuff that people do. And they provide the most economic benefit to our city, more than a lot of businesses do. A lot of them turn over 1 to 4 ratios in terms of the output that they give. So from an economic standpoint, this is a phenomenal way to go forward, and I think this is a core service. So that's me in short anyway. I'm going to support all of these. You all know your community groups really well. Not as happy as the size of the funds, but you guys already know, like I said, you know those community groups, and I'm happy to support all of you. And I'm supporting those community groups, so kia ora.
Celeste?
I'll be short because it's already been said, but I also just want to acknowledge Councillor Johansson for his work. And obviously staff who do a huge amount of work, and the expertise that you bring to this is huge, and we really appreciate it. And we get the easy part of this. I know you spent a long time working through this, and then we sort of fiddle with things quickly at our end. But your recommendations are really helpful. They're really clear. And also really valued, because I can't imagine doing your job and trying to figure out which groups to support. It's hard enough trying to make decisions at this end, but I think you do the hard work up front. And then just finally, I think it's already been said, but these groups do so much, and it's important, whoever is on the new council, that we continue to recognise that and fund it. We make decisions on a dime for huge amounts of money. Yesterday, case in point, where things, we're quite happy to kind of give grants through other means to other parts of society, but this is actually where the real value is delivered, through arts, through supporting vulnerable people, through other things that are being delivered through this. So it's a really great pleasure to be on this committee, and I just want us to say thanks again to staff and to the excellent guidance of Yanni, because I know he's a real passion for this, and it comes from a really genuine place, and he really knows all these groups, having worked with them for decades. So
Yeah, thank you. Well said, everything has been said, including the thanks to staff. And Yanni too, I'd like to also add my thanks to you and Andrew for your advice sitting there as well. It's really important. But I think one of the benefits of these, and staff must think, oh, we've done all the work, now we've got to take it to the governance, now they're going to pick it apart. But actually, what I always find is it gives me an incredible insight of the whole thing that's happening citywide. I mean, we get quite ward centric and we know our groups, but to actually get that overview is really, really interesting and exciting for Christchurch, just to see what is going on. And these things, groups are full of volunteers, so it's actually people contributing to our city. So yeah, a good process and well run. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak?
Yeah, thank you so much. I know everything has pretty much been said. Yanni, I think you lead us really well. You obviously have a real heart for the people of the city. And Pauline, you mentioned how it gives us an insight into all the work that's going on. I mean, these groups do life-changing stuff, you know, age concern, Delta. There's so many groups that put everything on the line to change the lives of people in their community. And I love the insights that staff bring because it's very agnostic. You don't pick sides, you give really good rationale for why you're recommending this or that. And then I guess it's up to us to make a decision on that. But I love the agnostic approach that you sort of take, and I think that's really important and very professional. Yeah, but I think this is some of the best stuff we do at council. And you make a good point, Celeste, about some of the big decisions that we make that sort of flip on a dime, you know, millions and millions of dollars. And it is what it is, but yeah, this is stuff that I'm most excited about actually being part of and encouraging. So yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you, Scott. And thanks for all the councillors that turned up today.
Does anyone else wish to speak? Okay, so I'll just conclude this debate by, yeah, I too just wanted to acknowledge the councillors that have come along to the previous and this one. Yeah, I do appreciate people are very busy at the moment, but this is important work, and so thank you to all of you that have attended. Sorry, did we check if anyone online wanted to say anything? Did they want to speak in the debate? I just can't see. Okay, cool. I just wanted to touch on two things in conclusion. One is just to say that I want to thank the council directors who have donated to the Mayor's Welfare Fund as well. So for those that don't know, we've been doing a lot of work at the Mayor's Welfare Fund to get it fit for purpose and to get better use of data, and also to ensure that we can help people as much as possible. And a lot of that is driven by the fact that we've got good income coming in. It hasn't always been the case, but what we're also seeing is demand is actually quite significantly as well. So those are the limits of grants that we will give to people individually. We have done that for some time. We've given staff increased delegations around that. And we've also been funding the things that really are very much about keeping people warm, like firewood and blankets, as well as funding individuals in need with day-to-day living costs. So just wanted to make clear that the Mayor's Welfare Fund has done a lot of work to get in a good place. There's still more that we can do. And we are looking at some of those things around learning assessments, for example, which Tim, I know is really dear to your heart, around what we can do to invest in children, getting a good start in life, and also looking at some options around what we can do to address things like dentistry. So the Mayor's Welfare Fund is very much around supporting individuals as a funder of last resort on things that are really, really urgent and important. And we'll continue to have those conversations, but it's really thank you to the council for the policy that has enabled that fund to have the ability to do that. So I just wanted to place on record my thanks to the council companies and the individuals who donate. And finally, I thought it was really good having the thank you function to celebrate the work that the groups do and to acknowledge them. And I know a number of the groups gave me personal feedback that they actually really valued the chance to come together and talk to us as elected members, talk to staff, and talk to each other. So I hope that we can consider what we do. What we're going to do is I'm going to put the amendment. We're just going to have a short break. There's a few noting provisions on some of the groups that staff have been working with me on. And when we come back, we'll just conclude with just tidying up those noting provisions to capture two things, which is around ferry maid and around SPATPAC, so Pacific initiatives. So with that being said, I'll put all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Any abstentions? Okay, declare that carried, thanks.